Will the 49ers get to the playoffs? Right now, they're like the 10 seed. And it's possible they could get in as a wild card. It's possible. But right now, it looks like their best path to the playoffs is to win the division. And right now, they're behind the Cardinals, who are hot. The Rams have the same record and the tiebreaker on them because they've beaten them once. They're hot. Do you think the Niners will win the division and get to the playoffs?
This morning on my show with Eric Crocker, I said, no, I don't think they're going to win the division. I think they'll get in with the wild card. But the more I think about it, I do think they're going to win the division. Now that they have Christian McCaffrey back and they have Jawan Jennings and they painted themselves in a corner and every game is a must-win situation, they are, a game and a half behind the Cardinals because of the tiebreaker. They're a half game behind the Rams because of the tiebreaker. I expect them, they play Tampa Bay. I think they're going to win that game. Then they play the Seahawks at home, and they've had their number the entire time Geno Smith has been there. I don't see the Seahawks beating the 49ers, so I expect that to be another win. And by the time they play the Cardinals and the Rams again, you're talking about a team that hopefully, if no one else gets injured, might have Dre Greenlaw back. They're bringing back a lot of pieces that can really help this team. Plus the trade deadline tomorrow. I do expect them. We'll talk about that more, but I expect them to have something. I don't know how big of a thing, but I do expect the 49ers to do what they've done the last 4 years, which is go on a run after the bye week. And the reemergence, the return of Christian McCaffrey does a big part in helping that happen.
All right, so I'm looking at, with McCaffrey back, assuming he's somewhat close to what he was last year and durable. I mean, they should win this week. They should win next week. Tampa, Seattle, 6-4. Green Bay on the road, winnable. You don't know about Jordan Love's groin, but I'm going to go with Green Bay at this time. Buffalo the next week, going to go with them for now. That would be 6-6. Chicago looked bad against Arizona. Let's give the Niners that game, 7-6. And the Rams?
I expect them to win that one. I expect, what's funny? Here's the thing is, the Rams beat the 49ers, even though they were missing both their wide receivers and were very unhealthy. Even though that's being said, I still expect the 49ers to beat the Rams at home the second time. If the Rams sweep the Niners, I would be shocked.
I mean, again, they'll be favored. They should be expected, but the Rams are tough. They have a better quarterback than the Niners, and they're not a deep team. So if Cooper Kupp's hurt that week, they're not the same. But if they have Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua and Stafford all healthy the same week, they're tough. I might give lean toward the Rams just for now. That would be 7-7. Then the Dolphins next week. That's a win. Lions week after. That's a loss. So 8-8 going into the final week against the Cardinals, who could be 8-8 as well. Let's look at the Cardinals' remaining schedule just to compare. They're 5-4 right now. They have the Jets at home on Sunday.
Yeah, they got an easy schedule.
Okay, so that's probably a win for them. 6-4 bye week in Seattle. I mean, 7-4 in Minnesota. That team's kind of coming back to earth, but let's give it to Minnesota. 7-5 at home against Seattle. 8-5 at home against the Patriots. 9-5, and then the Panthers. So this team, the Cardinals could get to 10 wins theoretically, even if they lose to the Vikings by week 16. Jets, Seahawks twice, Patriots, Panthers. Wow. So the Niners are in a tough spot, man. They really can't. They got to go on this run.
They have to. And I expect them to. I mean, if I'm basing everything on history, right, we base, the best teller of the future is the past. If we're doing that, then the Niners will go on a run. But their schedule's not easy. It's a lot of travel, not a lot of rest. And to your point, Cardinals have a very easy schedule. So they, like I said, they painted themselves in a corner. That's why these games that you have the lead on, 10-point leads, you have to finish. You got to close it out. You can't afford to give those up early or they come back to bite you. And that's what the 49ers are up against now, but they've shown they can do it in the past, and hopefully they can do it again this year.
I'm going to say something blasphemous too, man. Brock needs to play better. He needs to play better. He's playing well, but he's 4-4, and he's turning the ball over. Kyler Murray over here on a worse team, objectively worse roster, is playing better, turning the ball over less, and making just as many plays, if not more. He's got 3 fourth-quarter comeback victories already this year. Brock has 3 in his entire career, including the playoffs. So Brock needs to turn it up because we've seen him play at a better than good level. Like he's playing like a B quarterback to me right now, and there's no shame in that. That's Baker, who we're going to see this week. But he's had stretches of A play, and they're going to need it from him this year. Now that Christian's back, no excuse, man.
Yeah, consistency is the thing that we need from Brock. Like he's had moments this year where you're like, wow, the third quarter against the Cowboys was fantastic. He's had moments this year that were very impressive, but then he's also had opportunities to win the games and didn't seize them. He could have won in that Rams game. He did not. He had an opportunity. He didn't pull the trigger on a wide open BA for a touchdown. So it's been inconsistent from Brock, but CMC, Christian McCaffrey, is the magic elixir for consistency for Brock Purdy. And I expect that to happen for Brock and the entire 49ers offense with the return of Christian McCaffrey.
Well, let me say one thing to Brock directly. Quality control, man to man. The hold the ball for 5 seconds, run around, do your Kyler Murray impression, and then try to throw it deep. Like those days are over. It was fun. You learned, you saw what you could do. I mean, we made some friends along the way. It was exciting. Done.
Right.
Because you are not the same quarterback when you play like that. You can make plays, but you look at his numbers this year, 6 of his 7 picks have been on plays where he held the ball longer than 2.5 seconds. Knock it off. Knock it off. It's not you're not that guy. You are the guy who checks it down to Christian if it ain't open within 2.5 seconds. Check it down.
I believe he's at 3.63 seconds to throw, which is the second longest of all quarterbacks in the NFL, way past beyond all the starters. And like you said, that's the thing is like Jordan Mason on a dump off, you're choosing to pass that up. I don't know why, but that's what you're choosing to do. You're not going to choose to do that with Christian McCaffrey standing right there wide open. You are going to take the dump off, and that's going to be huge for this entire offense and for Brock Purdy and his statistics.
Shyamaal Dio says, first off, love you, Grant and Ryan. I love you too, Shyamaal. I wondered if he hasn't had any setbacks, CMC he's talking about, but is the risk for Achilles injury still there? Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's always there. Supposedly he's 100%. So supposedly, if he's 100%, no setbacks, it shouldn't be any different than the risk for anyone else. But it does make you feel like there is that risk because of what he's been out for so long.
When a guy takes 2 months off mid-season and goes to Germany for a treatment that you can't get here, you can only, I think that indicates the level of anxiety that he's experiencing and how dire the situation is. I mean, the remedy didn't exist in America, and they're hoping it existed in Germany. And so far, they seem optimistic in the sense that he's there, but we'll see what happens. They're kind of like trying to see if they can reverse the aging process or thumb their nose at Father Time or whatever. I mean, this is the best treatment Germany can provide and that money can buy. So let's see where modern science is. We'll find out. Nicholas says Niners sadly need CMC despite talented roster. Barely escaped the sorry Cowboys and Seahawks. They only can win one way. It only works on crap teams.
Can we talk about that real quick in regards to this comment? How bad the Cowboys are. And that's why that game, the win over the Cowboys, I was telling everybody, I fully expect the 49ers to win. I expect them to blow them out. They didn't blow them out because but they did win. But the Cowboys are awful, as you saw against the Falcons. Even Dak Prescott himself said, we effing suck. So,
and now he's out for a while. I mean, there is bad.
Yeah.
I'm over here doing power rankings for SI. I have to do it every week. Do you want me to run through it real quick? I was thinking about putting the Cowboys like in the bottom 5. My worst team right now is the Raiders. You could go with Carolina, but the Raiders actually lost to Carolina. So I don't know. This is what I got for the power rankings. And I don't put a ton of thought into it. So you guys let me know if you think I'm crazy. This is week 10. 1, Kansas City, just cuz. 2, Detroit. 3, Baltimore. 4, Buffalo. 5, Washington. 6, Pittsburgh. 7, Chargers. 8, Minnesota. I'm losing confidence in them. 9, Houston. 10, Philly. 11, Green Bay. 12, Arizona. I'm a big Arizona guy. 13, Rams. 14, Cincinnati. 15, Atlanta. 16, Niners. I'm a hater. 16 Niners, I feel like what they've shown this year has been the essence of mediocrity, but with McCaffrey coming back, I'd like to see him like take a hit before I vault him into the top 10, but clearly they have top 10, top 5 potential if McCaffrey's McCaffrey.
Let me ask you about the Eagles. Did you have the Eagles in there at all?
I did. I had them at 12. No, 10. Had them at 10.
You know what's funny is the Eagles are actually they're on a 4-game win streak, and nobody's talking about them, but they're the second longest win streak in the NFC right now. So they're kind of hot. Nobody's really talking about them. I'm not sure why, but they're on a little bit of a run here. It's interesting. They may be the late season bloomers. We'll see. I'm not a big believer in Jalen Hurts or Sirianni, but they're doing well.